Hey fellow nerds, it's Justin from the Credulous Nerds, and I'm back again for our daily podcast. Today I will be talking about the Marvel Avengers Infinity War official trailer that came out about a week ago, and already it's racked up over 51 million views on YouTube on the Marvel Entertainment channel. If you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. It's worth watching. It's a great 2 minutes and 15 seconds or so, a preview of what's coming out on April 27th in theaters. So go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. I'll be doing a scene-by-scene breakdown of what's being shown in the trailer. So if you want to go watch it and then come back to this, or if you've already seen it, I'll try and bring it up visually in your mind so you can remember what's going on, and I'll talk a little bit about it. So we'll start off with the beginning scene of this trailer where we see what looks to be Manhattan, and the camera view is upside down. So we're seeing Manhattan upside down, and then it slowly rotates and comes into view, into focus. And I think that's done to represent that the world's going to be turned upside down by what happens in this film. And then the screen goes dark for a bit. We got a voiceover of Gamora talking about Thanos, that he's always had one goal, and that's to destroy everything. And that if he gets all the Infinity Stones, if he wanted to, he could destroy everything with a snap of his fingers. So that's how important it is to stop Thanos. And then we got a top-down view of Bruce Banner and Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff, and Colonel Rhodes looking up. Rhodey's in his Iron Patriot armor, and they're all looking up at something. And then the camera fades to black, and we see Doctor Strange's house that he lives in with the funky window. And then we get to see Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet on, and he's putting in the stone that he got from the Tesseract. He's putting that into the Infinity Gauntlet. And then we see Tony Stark sitting there. We get the impression that Gamora is telling Tony Stark and a couple of others what's going on, but who knows? It's not directly shown. And Tony Stark asks, what's his name? And Gamora tells him it's Thanos. It looks to be in the same setting. It's hard to tell. It could be Gamora's on the spaceship that the Guardians are on in the beginning of the film. But anyway, they're juxtaposing that to let us believe that Gamora is telling Tony Stark these things. And then we see Thanos in his armor taking off his helmet. And then we get the Marvel Studio logos. And then we cut to Spider-Man, Peter Parker. He's riding the bus on the way to school, it looks like. He jumps out the side window and puts on his homemade... Or no, this isn't the homemade. This is the Tony Stark version that he gave to him at the end of Spider-Man Homecoming. He puts that mask on, and then we see him flying underneath a bridge on his spider web. And it looks to be, we see a spaceship looming over Manhattan. And that is known as a Q ship. And Spider-Man's headed towards that. And then the next scene, the ship is flying higher up in the atmosphere. And we see Tony Stark in his Iron Man suit flying up to that, and he has a new attachment, I guess you could say, on the bottom of his Iron Man suit. It turns into a thruster that gives him like a turbo boost to catch up to the ship, because it looks like it's flying away and escaping. So who knows why he's chasing it down. Maybe they captured something. I'm personally believe that they captured Doctor Strange and his Infinity Stone. So Tony Stark's chasing after it. And then we see a scene of Doctor Strange with his Eye of Agamotto and the Infinity Stone there. And then it cuts to the Scarlet Witch in a tropical setting, and she's looking worried. And she's talking with Vision. And then it cuts to Wakanda. We see the Panther statue. We get an overall view of the city. And we're kind of getting this voiceover from Tony Stark saying that, we have what Thanos wants, referring to the Infinity Stones, and that they use this as a way to overcome him or perhaps trap him and try to best him that way. And then we got Captain America with a beard, blonde-haired Black Widow, Rhodey, Falcon, Vision, Scarlet Witch, and it looks to be, it's kind of hard to tell in this still, but looks to be Hawkeye or perhaps Bruce Banner. They're all showing up in a ship to visit King T'Challa in Wakanda. So they're meeting up. Rogers and T'Challa are shaking hands like they're old friends. And then we see T'Challa's sister. Her name's escaping me right now, but she's got some sort of tech that she's looking at a hologram right now. And then we get to see the Guardians of the Galaxy with Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax. They're descending out of a ship that looks like it's landed inside of a ship. So perhaps they were captured by Thanos. We kind of see that at the end of Thor Ragnarok, where in one of the end credit scenes, they are... No, actually that was... That was Thor and his crew being discovered by a bigger ship, and that bigger ship was Thanos' ship. So maybe the same things happened to the Guardians. And then we cut to a scene where we got Star-Lord, Iron Man, and Drax talking about a plan. And this is the line from, Star-Lord saying, "Let's talk about this plan of yours. It sucks. I got a better plan." Tony Stark's like, "Wow, okay, who is this guy?" So it's a humorous moment in this film. Looking forward to this, actually seeing this scene. And Spider-Man's there with his new suit. And we can see the date, April 27th. And then we got a bunch of ships from Wakanda heading out to what looks like to battle. We got a close-up of King T'Challa and Steve Rogers in one of those ships with a bunch of warriors, and we see what was the Hulkbuster Iron Man armor in Age of Ultron. Looks to be a similar, perhaps updated version of that. Who knows if Tony's in it? I don't think so. But, that armor's there to help them fight. And then we see Doctor Strange with his red coat on a spaceship along with Rocket Raccoon. I don't know if they're on the same ship at the same time, but it's kind of alluded that way as it cuts from him to Rocket, and they're kind of in the same similar environment. And then we got Thor using his newfound ability to summon lightning without the use of his hammer, without Mjolnir. And he's on that same ship, and he's using the lightning to perhaps destroy it. And then we see a shot of Groot as well. And then we got a ship. I'm not sure which ship it is or whose it is. Maybe it's the Q ship that was seen earlier in the trailer, but it's crash landing onto a planet that has tons of other crashed ships. So we see that ship coming in. Then it cuts to, I think this part is a flashback with Thanos and he's on a mission to destroy this city, it looks like, and this is where we see little Gamora's hand grab onto Thanos' forefinger. And I believe this is a flashback of when Thanos conquered Gamora's planet, killed everyone, killed her parents, and then took her to raise her as his daughter. And they're shown together walking off. And then we got Thanos grabbing Thor's head as Thor screams in pain. And then it cuts to Loki and the four, I forget what they're called, but they're the four henchmen of Thanos. They're like his sons or his brothers or something. I can't remember. Children, night children, black. I can't remember. Black. Sorry, their name's escaping me right now. But we see Loki with those guys. And Thanos has the Tesseract in his hand and he crushes it. And I'm assuming this is where he gets the Infinity Stone out of the Tesseract, which is just a container for the Infinity Stone. And we see him earlier in the trailer putting it into the gauntlet. So I think this scene is related to that earlier scene. And then we got a suit up, armor up sequence where we got Bucky Barnes with a machine gun, Steve Rogers with a new vibranium shield, and then Black Panther with his armor on, with his armies and the Hulkbuster in the background. And they are repelling an attack of aliens with a big force shield. So it looks like they're battling in Africa outside of Wakanda. They're having a major battle there on Earth. And then we cut to Doctor Strange using his circle of powers, using it for kind of stepping stones for Star-Lord to run across this destroyed battlefield of the planet where the ships were all crashing. And he's running across that on those discs with laser blasts being shot at him. And they're purples, which could be, one of the powers of one of the Infinity Stones. The one that the Nova Corps had was purple and had energy that was purple, so it could be something related to that. We see Star-Lord shooting, and then we cuts to Scarlet Witch, and she's kind of looking dismayed again. And then we cut to Doctor Strange. Looks like he's being held captive, and he has these sharp needle glass things looking. They're all stabbing him in the face, and he's in a lot of pain. And one of Thanos' henchmen is the one responsible for that, the one with the big flat nose. And then it cuts back to the Battle of Wakanda. I believe it is where it's at. It's in Africa outside of Wakanda. And the aliens have broken through the shield, and now the armies of Wakanda are battling. We see Falcon, we see not Iron Patriot, but the Hulkbuster, perhaps. Rhodey's in that suit. And then it cuts to Thanos back on that planet with all the destroyed spaceships. And then it looks like Thanos and Iron Man are fighting. And then it cuts to a scene on Earth with Captain America, one of the most notable scenes in this trailer, where Thanos has the Infinity Gauntlet on, but he's only got 2 stones, it looks like, in the gauntlet. And he's reaching out towards Captain America, and Steve Rogers is trying to resist him. And they're kind of having a battle of the wills, I guess. Then we see the Avengers logo with the theme music, which is pretty amazing. Avengers Infinity War. Then we got the scene at the end there where Peter introduces himself to Doctor Strange, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Peter," and Doctor Strange is, "Oh, hey, I'm Doctor Strange," and Peter's like, "Oh, we're using our made-up names. Well, I'm Spider-Man." So, little humorous part there. And then it cuts to the planet with all the destroyed spaceships, and Spider-Man's flying through all the debris, using his webs, trying to avoid everything. And then that's it. So a lot of quick cuts, short scenes of action, some dialogue that's being voiced over to kind of give you an idea what's going on. But they did a good job of showing us a lot of what's going on, but not really enough, right? And that's kind of what you want to see out of a trailer nowadays is, they show some key scenes, but nothing that gives away anything that would make you understand the whole movie. At least that's what the good trailers do. Some trailers nowadays just show you, hey, this is the movie in 2 minutes from start to finish. But this didn't do it. It showed parts from the beginning, parts from the end, parts in the middle, and it kind of juxtaposed them together so you didn't know who was talking to who, but you kind of got the general idea of what was going on. So a good trailer here. Go ahead and watch it if you haven't seen it. It's worth your time. It's only 2 minutes, 17 seconds. So give it a look and definitely share your thoughts with us and what you think of this trailer, and if you're looking forward to the movie and if you'll be seeing it opening night. I know that Mark and I will, and we'll definitely give a review show that night as well as a full episode podcast review. So stay tuned for that in the coming weeks. And for those of you who want to listen to just the audio of the Infinity War trailer, stay tuned, as that is coming up here in just about 10-15 seconds.
The entire time I knew him, he only ever had one goal: to wipe out half the universe. If he gets all the Infinity Stones, he can do it with the snap of his fingers. Just like that.
Tell me his name again.
Thanos.
We got one advantage. He's coming to us. We have what Thanos wants, so that's what we'll use.
Let's talk about this plan of yours. I think it's good, except it sucks. So let me do the plan, and that way it might be really good.
Wow. Is near. When I'm done, half of humanity will still exist. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. I hope they remember you.
I'm Peter, by the way.
Doctor Strange.
Oh, you're using your made-up names. Then I am Spider-Man.